Good morning, everyone. Do you have your coffee? I have mine. So, listen, before I get started saying what I want to say today, I have a few people that I need to say thank you to. I need to say thank you to Royal Rain. Thank you so much for the coffee money. I appreciate it. And I also want to say thank you so much to Tanya and to Kimmy. Kimmy, always so supportive. And to Vera, same thing there. Always so supportive. Thank you, ladies, so much. I appreciate you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Because I'm definitely going to have one. Today is another garden day for me. No one has been wanting a food bag or box, at least not this past week. So, except for one person. But, well, two people. Two people wanted bags this week, but it was just so easy. It felt like I didn't do anything this week in that respect. Most people have been just coming to the pantry and just showing up and taking what they need from there. So I've just been making sure that it's fully stocked. The kids came yesterday. Saturdays is a big toy day. That's when I tend to put the pricier toys in there. And then I sprinkle a few throughout the rest of the week. But it's always something good in there for them. And I thank you for that. Anyway, listen. You know how they say what you don't know won't hurt? I don't know who came up with that saying, but that's a lie. That's a lie. What you don't know can hurt you. You may not know it, but I guarantee you it's hurting you. And that's the same way that racism works. Racism is a very, very sinister thing. And let me tell you how it's sinister. It's sinister because most racists don't want to be called a racist. And they're not going to tell you that they're a racist. As a black person, it is your job, your responsibility to understand racism so that you know it when you see it, hear it, and yes, for a spiritual people, even when we feel it. When we feel it. That way, even when white people, racist white people, are looking at you and smiling at you, and laughing and joking along with you, you know when they are a racist because your soul, your spirit can feel it because your third eye is open. And that third eye is just that eye where we can see things that aren't visible to the naked eye. You know, when that level of consciousness, when you've gotten to a certain level of consciousness to where you can't ignore that anymore. There are a lot of black people because racism, it really is a hard thing to contend with. We deal with it every single day. It comes out of nowhere at all a lot of the times when you're not even prepared for it. Like say when you're at work or you're at school or you're standing in line at the grocery store and you don't expect for racism to come flying at you, but there it is. You know, some racist is being racist. And a lot of racists, when they're being racist and they're smiling directly in your face, and they're victimizing you with their racism, they like to gaslight you at the same time and pretend like their microaggressions or macroaggressions are not in fact racism when they are. Listen, if you don't know and understand what racism is as a black person, I guarantee you have been hurt along the way, even though you may not feel like white people have been overtly racist to you. Think about where you are in your job, and you may be happy, say, making $80,000 or $100,000 a year, until you find out that a white person who has less time and is offering less to the company than you are is making almost twice what you're making. You're happy until you find that out. And if you're not paying attention, if you're someone that doesn't pay attention to racism and how white people and move within it, you won't understand that you're being underpaid. And you won't understand that you're being overworked. And you won't understand the macroaggressions that you're forced to laugh through. Or that you are genuinely, willingly laughing through at work. Because you're the token. Black women especially experience this all the time, especially in corporate America. Overworked, underpaid. We are paid the least. We are paid less than white men, less than white women, less than Asians, less than Latinos, and less than black men too. We're paid less. And we are typically the ones who are overworked and overachieving. And don't you have to overachieve in order to get half what they have? Hasn't that been the way? Now, don't get me wrong. There are black people who have become very, very successful in their own rights. But think about what they would have achieved had they not had roadblocks in the way, in their path. Things that regular, schmegular, mediocre white people don't have in their pathway. You've been hurt on some level in some way with racism, whether you want to acknowledge that or not. That's why I find it so strange when you have these types of black people that say things like incredibly ignorant, uninformed, uneducated things like, I have been treated better by white people than I have by black people. No, you haven't. You just haven't paid attention to racism. You are just not a conscious black person. That's all. You are fast asleep and not paying attention. The collective of white people, these people are not your friend. They do not want the best for you. In fact, it's the opposite. And also, for the rest of us, when you do not pay attention to racism and what racism is, and you don't have that third eye open, like how I was saying in yesterday's conversation, all these black people who are now upset because this little white girl is charging $6,000 to show up to their events to do this dance that they taught her to do. First of all, they shouldn't have been teaching her. And second of all, why are you calling her up, inviting whiteness into black spaces? Fast asleep, unconscious. What is it that she has to offer your trail ride except whiteness? And why do you need whiteness in that way to show up for you? If your default was set to blackness, it wouldn't have even occurred to you all to pick up the phone and call this little white girl and invite her to this event. As many sisters that can step and do that dance, brothers too, whatever could you need her for? Just because what? She went viral doing the dance that y'all taught her, invented and taught her to do? She should have been the last phone call y'all ever made. But we're not conscious. And if you are not conscious as a black person to what racism is, all the nuance, all the layers involved, if you're not capable of thinking about it beneath a surface level, you're going to miss a whole lot of things that can harm you. White people will never admit to you that they are racist. They're just going to be racist. And unfortunately, if you don't know what racism is and if you don't really understand it at your core, you can be harmed before you're helped, especially when they are the ones that are in the position to help us. Take, for example, a doctor. White people cannot separate themselves from their racism. When they put on those white coats, they don't leave their racism outside of those examining rooms or outside of those hospital doors. It's with them. They carry it with them. They don't just stop being racist. That is an impossible thing for them to do. They are still racist, only now they are a racist with a white coat and a stethoscope. And because they are racist, they have certain inherent biases when it comes to black people. And so you're not going to get the care that you deserve. You're not going to get the medications that you deserve. You're not going to get the tests that you deserve. You're not going to get the pain meds that you deserve. You're not going to get the consideration that you deserve. You're not going to get the diagnosis that you deserve. When a judge puts on that black robe, it's the same thing. He's going to give you more time because you're black. He's going to make your bail higher because you're black. He's going to prejudice the jury because you're black. He's going to be on the prosecutor's side because you're black. Let's talk about the prosecutor. The prosecutor, They don't stop being racist. So they come after you harder than they would a white person who has committed the same crime. Let's talk about you not being able to afford a lawyer and needing a public defender. The public defender doesn't stop being racist because they are standing before the racist judge and the racist prosecutor. They are still racist. They are overworked, underpaid, and they are not going to push for you. They're going to tell you to take a plea deal, even though it's a bad deal, just to get you off their roster. They don't care anything about you doing 15 years for something that you should only be doing 5 years for. They are still racist. They don't care about you. Your boss. They don't stop being racist because they are your boss. That shows up in underpaying you, overworking you, not promoting you, and looking you over time and time and time again. Not looking at your contributions, the contributions that you have made that should put you here, but instead you down here. Same thing with teachers. Whether these are elementary school teachers, middle school teachers, high school teachers, or college level. Pardon me. Racist teachers do not give you the grades that you deserve. So you don't get the GPA that you deserve. So you don't get into the college you deserve. It affects you whether you understand it or not. It does. Appraisers, home appraisers, jewelry appraisers. Excuse me. They don't give you the appraisal, your property, the appraisal, a fair appraisal. And so instead of your home being worth $1.4 million, they come back with $800,000. And that affects you. But if you don't see racism, you don't understand racism, you won't know it's racism, and you go off and you sell your house for $800,000 instead of the $1.4 million it's worth. Excuse me. Racism affects you. It does. Whether you're going to own that or not, it does. Racism creates whole entire systems. School to prison pipeline. Now imagine a bunch of racist teachers teaching your children, not caring about what they're learning, what they're learning in school, not getting the grades that they deserve, the attention that they deserve. And they keep passing them into the next grade. And then the next thing you know, your kid is walking across the stage and they can barely read, write, or count. Now, how are they going to get into college and perform? How are they going to provide for themselves when they can't do the basics? It affects us deeply. But as a Black person, it is your job to know that. Excuse me. Bad asthma day today. As a Black person, it is your job to know that. It's your job to see it. It's your job to acknowledge it. And it is, yes, your job, your responsibility, as messy as it can be, to confront it. Otherwise, these racists will continue to play in your face day in and day out. They will continue to reward the mediocre white people around you while systematically ignoring Black excellence. It matters when you hear these deathbed confessions of racist people in nursing homes, firemen who said they let Black bodies burn because they were Black. Or they did no resuscitation, EMS workers and police officers because he was Black. No life-saving efforts because they were Black. Watched a Black person suffer in pain because they were Black. Didn't give them the right medication. Wouldn't. Anytime a nurse can break the bones of black babies in the ICU and practically nothing happens to her. Now think, if that black couple hadn't challenged it, we'd know nothing about it. We'd know nothing about it at all. Nobody would have known to go back and look. And nobody would have known that the hospital knew. The hospital suspected. They suspended her and then brought her back just to see. They used black babies for bait. Yes, racism is that sinister, that evil, that ugly, that dark, that pervasive. And if you are a sleeping Negro, you will be harmed if you don't know it when you see it, hear it, and feel it, and are not brave enough to confront it. And when confronting it, do not allow yourself to be gaslit or told that you're wrong, or that it's just your imagination, or that you're playing the victim. We don't have to play the victim. We are the victims of their racism, their sinister, evil, hateful, hurtful, heinous prosecution of blackness. Stay woke. Get woke. Wake up. If you would like to support the platform, I'll leave my Cash App and Venmo down in the comments. Have a beautiful Sunday. Do something nice for someone. Stay righteous. And keep learning how to be in community with your people. Being hateful to your own kind is not going to help that. Being indignant towards your own kind is not going to help you get there. Being harmful to your own kind is not going to help you get there. Being disrespectful to your own kind is not going to get you there. Taking more than you give to your own kind. None of those pathways are going to get you in community with your people. And you're going to need your people, because this administration is doing some strange shit. Some strange shit. And you're going to need your people. And at the end of the day, collectively speaking, the only people that your black ass is going to be able to turn to is other black people. It's not going to be them that's going to save you. They don't want to save you. They ain't going to save you. They done told you they're not going to save you. It's going to be your people. It's always been your people. Collectively speaking. Have a good day.